Hey everyone, this is Steve from Commercial Forest Products, and today we are cutting up some very cool stuff today. This is probably the nicest, most interesting material we've ever sawn up. So let's go check it out. You hear that humming in the distance? I think they might be starting without us. We better go. Just a little further. We're almost there. All right, well, the good news is we got here just in time to catch the action. So we've got two very cool woods on the menu for this afternoon. I think you're gonna like them both. First up is some West Coast maple that has some beautiful curly and spalt figure to it. Unfortunately, this piece of spalted maple was actually just a little bit too big for even the mighty Wood-Mizer LT70. Now, if you're not familiar with West Coast maple, it's basically a maple that looks more like alder in color. It's on the West Coast. There's less of it available in the marketplace than there is East Coast varieties of maple. It is lighter in weight than both sugar maple and soft maple. If you ever see maple with quilt figuring, then you know you're looking at West Coast maple. I don't know if I've ever seen any variety of East Coast maple that has what we would call quilt figuring. What the Wood-Mizer is doing here, it's taking successive cuts off this maple slab. So basically doing what we call book matching, which is, the reason they call it book matching is because it's kind of like makes slices that almost mimics the pages of a book, in that the pages are mirror images, almost mirror images of each other. And it works best if the wood looks consistent from one face to the other. Sometimes if you try to book match something like bird's eye maple, the figure is kind of erratic. It doesn't even look book matched even when it is book matched. All right, now this is what I'm talking about. Okay, here you can see the book match. You've got basically two pieces of wood or multiple pieces of wood that look like they've been sliced one off the other because they have been sliced one off the other. And if you zoom in close here, you can see the spalt and curl that runs down the edge of these pieces. It's really beautiful, and this doesn't even have a finish on it. This is just straight off the saw kerf. You can tell it's going to be nice looking stuff. Again, here's a close-up of some beautiful curly spalted maple. It doesn't even have any finish on it. Anybody remember the shellac? All right, the second wood species we have for you today is Morado, otherwise known as Pau Ferro. Now, often this wood is used as an Indian Rosewood substitute. It's not on CITES or on the IUCN red list, so basically it is a sustainable wood that is not endangered, and it looks like rosewood, but it's not really rosewood. It is a dense wood with really spectacular coloration. If you go to pick up a piece, especially an 8/4 or 12/4 or 16/4 piece, it is heavy. Bring help. Now, if you see this wood in lumber stores, if you can even find it, what you typically find are strippy, short pieces. However, around these parts, we like wider, longer, and thicker Morado wood. So that's how we cut it here. Now get ready to feast your eyes on this. Wait for it, and here we go. Beautiful figure. Oh God, I hate sawdust. You can't even see the board. Just cut into it and it's left a trail of sawdust here. Let's get rid of that. There we go, that's better. Now the grain's coming through. Now the colors are popping. Well, while we're on the subject of sawdust, I should mention that Morado is one of those import woods that can really irritate your skin if you are allergic to sawdust. Unfortunately, that's just a property of many of the coolest exotic wood species, and Morado is no exception. Now, whenever we're in the mill or sawing up some wood, as a wood guy, it's tempting to use the audio of the saws to create, the proper ambiance. It's cool. You hear the buzzing of the machines. However, as a listener, I find such audio grating and annoying. Remember earlier in the video when I stopped to listen to the humming of the machines? Well, that was actually stock audio called construction noises. In fact, if you rewind to the 22-second mark, you can hear the faint sounds of a New York City cat call in the background. You want to hear how annoying it is? Okay, here you go. Okay, now we've got some beautiful shots of Pau Ferro. Remember, this has nothing but the bandsaw blade as a surfacing tool. It's no finish, no planer. It's just incredible looking wood. You can see why it's a popular choice for handgun grips, for instrument parts, rifle stock. It's just a incredibly gorgeous wood that is not an endangered species. Morado is just a really fantastic wood that we are excited to have in our inventory. Overall, it was a great couple of days sawing exotic hardwoods. However, it was windy as hell thanks to the raging Santa Anas. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, so we'll see you next time.